This is Charlie Mike, the podcast. Veterans helping veterans, talking about things happening in the veteran community, things we've experienced and overcome, such as addictions, PTSD, depression, legal trouble, and we also promote veteran-owned businesses. If you're talking about it, we're talking about it. This is Charlie Mike, the podcast.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Charlie Mike, the podcast. As always, I'm your host, Raul. Today, I have a very special guest in the house. I would like to introduce you to Michelle.
I am the senior director here at Farm to Veteran, which is a nonprofit that is outside of the city of Chicago. We're in the far south suburbs. It started in 2020 as just a concept and an idea to donate everything we produce on a 60-acre farm here to veterans in need. Been with the organization since the start, developed it from just a concept and an idea with our founder and our farm manager, and we've grown to where we are today.
Who are you? Give me a little bit about your background.
My background, I have a degree in political science, which doesn't really make a difference here. Was in the corporate world for many years, doing everything from office management to executive assistant, and helped to actually run 400 convenience stores at one point in time as an executive assistant to a vice president, and kind of needed a change in my life and answered a Facebook ad, believe it or not. It's for a gentleman who wanted someone to help him manage multiple businesses. So our founder and CEO is a serial entrepreneur. He didn't need somebody full-time for everything and somebody just to bounce ideas off of. And from there, this concept grew. He's like, you helped start it, you run it. And that's where we are today.
Crazy. So Farm to Veteran. Now, how did it all begin? What was the light bulb moment where it became an idea? And
yeah, so like I said, our founder and CEO, he was a serial entrepreneur, got many industries, venture capitalism, all that kind of stuff. And at one point, through a lot of his interactions, just said, if I ever could do something for veterans, I would. He kind of started a hobby farm probably about 15 years ago on 60 acres in the far south suburbs of Chicago. We're about an hour and a half out of the city, which people are like, wait, Chicago, like there's farms out there? But yes. You get to a certain point in Illinois and it's farmland. And he started doing just hobby farming, started with 20 chickens and liked it. And then hired on a farm manager, was doing the for-profit farming, mostly livestock, and was coming into the problem of just people weren't showing up anymore. And you have a dozen eggs that are waiting for somebody and then it spoils. And he's like, you know what? I always want to do something for veterans. Let's see if we can make it happen. And that's kind of when I came in and the three of us kind of sat down, came up with this concept and said, let's see if we can make it work. Again, at the beginning, always bumps along the road, but was starting out with 20 chickens and kind of just an idea we now have, I think, over 400 chickens on our farm. We produce anywhere from 60 to 100 dozen eggs a week that we donate. We also do pork and beef, and it's even expanded to having partner farmers across the country that we work with, farmers and ranchers, to be able to give food to veterans. Homegrown, farm grown. I mean, we have a produce partner that provides produce. We have ranchers that help us with beef and pork, and it's straight from the farm to the veteran.
so so his idea was to help veterans.
Mhm.
Why veterans?
He's just kind of always had a soft spot for veterans. He's a huge patriot. Through lots of his entrepreneurial endeavors, he met with veterans that were doing well, but had a friend who was struggling.
Yeah.
Whether that was struggling with addiction or PTSD or whatever problem or that they were presenting themselves, he was like, I want to do something to help veterans. And when this whole concept came about, he's like, well, what if we just give them food, good food? And then that can help nurture their bodies, which then can help nurture their minds. And then it's a whole domino effect.
That's amazing. So it's in, as you said, the outskirts of Chicago. And are y'all just in the state?
We are not. We've actually expanded to 9 states.
That's amazing. Are you in Texas?
We are in Texas.
What? Where at?
Fort Worth, I believe.
Okay, Dallas area. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So from the beginning, when you started working for veterans, a farm to veteran, did you expect to be at this moment? Did you see the growth originally, or what? Are
So
you small?
when I first started, there was no farm to veteran. So it was just a farm. And this concept kind of came about. And in the nonprofit world, we're only 5 years old. That's very, very young. And I never thought that it would be where it is today, nor the impact that we've had. Like, we're getting stories from some of these people that since we started the program, they've lost over 20 pounds. A1Cs have gone down. Somebody who's pre-diabetic is no longer pre-diabetic based on just eating healthier. So it's just one of those things that you see the impact. We started, it was, we're going to give a couple dozen eggs a week, this and that. And it just kind of grew and grew and grew. And I was lucky enough to have our CEO just like, make it happen. He goes, do what you need to make it happen. He goes, let's see how far we can grow this. And believe me, I could grow it even more, but it does take funding. So
I could imagine the amount. Now it's a 501, and you guys donate 100%.
yes.
I'm just amazed. I'm amazed by it. So far it says that y'all have donated over 420,000 meals.
Yes, since we started in over 9 states.
That's crazy.
We're creeping up to that 500,000 mark, and I'm hoping I'm going to have like a big, huge celebration when that happens.
That's amazing. But when was COVID?
2020. We literally
Wow.
started at the beginning. Oh, worst time ever to start a nonprofit. I'll tell you that much.
Oh my goodness. Especially trying to give away stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
Oh,
we don't count numbers from that first year, just believe it or not, because
okay.
it probably was not all going to veterans, and we don't want to count that. So we don't even count our first entire year. So 2020, there are no numbers for 2020 of meals donated. We just basically say that was our trial year to see.
I believe that. So how big is this farm? Let's talk about that.
So the farm here in Manhattan is 60 acres.
60 acres?
Yes.
Jeez. Yeah. I'm still blown away. I'm thinking about it in my head. The whole concept behind it. And it's hard to find genuine people trying to do good things in this world. And me doing my research on you guys, I get kind of emotional, especially when it comes to speaking about my brothers and sisters in the veteran community. I don't know what to say besides you guys are amazing.
We just have this concept that veterans served us, so now it's our turn to serve them. I have veterans that have been in my family. Both my grandfathers were veterans, great grandfathers, everything like that. And just to hear the stories, one of my grandfathers actually was a Holocaust survivor. He was not in the US military, but he was actually in the Polish military. And he was actually saved by the United States. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the military. And that's where I always wanted to do something for him. I have a lot of friends that are military. And it's great to go into some of these locations and hear their stories. And some of them, I mean, I have some 80-year-old men that want to tell me stories and have someone sit there and talk with them. And it's not just about the food, but it's around the conversations that happen because of the food. We have monthly barbecues at one of the veteran homes that we just go. And I'm out there flipping burgers. And I have one guy who critiques the way that I flip burgers. He said, no, you can't do that. You're going to lose all the juice. But then you just sit there and you have a conversation. And that's probably one of my favorite days of the month, because I can sit there and listen to them and know that somebody's actually wanting to hear their stories. And it's just so heartwarming. And I will do anything that I possibly can to make sure that veterans are taken care of.
Okay, so in the future, what do you see in the future? What does Michelle see for Farm to Veteran?
So the future, I have no idea. The landscape has changed for nonprofits so much in the last year. What's nice about ours is that we've never taken a cent of government funding, so we were not affected by that. That's fantastic. But we're seeing so much more need out in the landscape. So we're trying to make sure that we can get to every person that we can and help as many people as we can, whether that's growth, whether that's increased frequency. I don't know that, but given the growth that we've had in the last 5 years, I can only imagine that we're going to be in more states, feeding more veterans, working with more farmers. I just can't tell you the exact number at this point.
That's awesome. So with you guys being a 501c3, how is the majority of how do you raise funds?
So raising funds kind of has a little bit of a tiered approach. Obviously, we have a donation link on our website under farmtoveteran.com. And that's probably the majority of where the funding comes from. We do have a few folks that are pretty big benefactors. We do have events throughout the community, like working with local American Legions, VFWs, other veteran organizations. We have a collaborative approach when it comes to working with other veteran organizations so that we're always doing everything together. So whether or not it's like a chili cook-off or a rib roast, or whatever, golf outing, all the kinds of community events, we're very much into the community. And yes, a lot of those things are fundraisers and everything like that. Not big dollar things, but just fun things that bring the community together, bring the veterans together. This year, we're actually having our first fundraiser gala. So we're doing that in September, on September 20th at the Field Museum in Chicago.
You got a big namer coming in.
We actually have a couple big names. So our headliner, of course, is David Spade. He's going to be a comedian. And we actually just announced that we do have a comedic host, Tom Tran, who is a U.S. Army vet and founder of GIs of Comedy. So he's going to come and be our host and be an opener. It's going to be an overall good time. A couple weeks ago, we actually had an event called Voices of Valor that we're hoping to maybe turn into a series where we had Marcus Luttrell actually come on, do a talk, learn about his story and what he endured and just his vision for the future of veterans and what we can do to help them. So that just happened a couple weeks ago. But yeah, like things like that, we're trying to just get the overall veteran, that the people that can give at the top dollar and people that can give just $5. It takes us all to make this happen. People can give, that's great. But there's just even awareness of who we are is fantastic.
That's amazing. So this is your first gala you guys are having. Yeah. And so I think of David Spade and I automatically think Joe Dirt. So that's why I started laughing.
Farming Joe Dirt, kind of.
Did you see, how Morgan Wallen does the little walk-in every time and he brings famous people? And I think he had brought Joe Dirt in on one of them. I thought it was hilarious.
Hey, if Morgan Wallen wants to come to the gala too, he's more than welcome.
There you go. Tell Joe Dirt to jump on that. Yeah, that's awesome. So people can donate and find out more information about your nonprofit, Farm to Veteran, on farmtoveteran.com.
Yes.
And what other events do y'all have coming up?
The biggest thing on my mind right now is obviously the gala, but I have a rib cook-off that's coming up middle of August. A couple other things that we're working on within the community. There's an organization called Warriors Walk that's with preventing soldier suicide. That they do a 22-mile ruck walk that's in the local community, so we're helping out with that. There's all kinds of just local community events in the Chicagoland area. I mean, those are our biggest events right now, but there's always more things coming up. We list them on our events page as they come up. So
it's so, are you able to name any of the veteran organizations that y'all partner with?
Absolutely. So one of our biggest partners is Volunteers of America. They have here in Illinois, they have 2 locations that we work with primarily. One in Joliet that's called Hope Manor. It's a subsidized housing program for veterans, whether they're facing, addiction recovery or PTSD. It's definitely helping out with them. And then that same organization has affiliates across the country that have similar programs. So we're in the Volunteers of America in Florida, Texas, Michigan, Indiana, Colorado, and Washington State. And then we work with a place in Iowa called Freedom Foundation, as well as other organizations like St. Leo's, which is through Catholic Charities that has a veterans program, Veterans New Beginnings. We also work with Manteno Veterans Home, which is a government-housed veterans organization, as well as some VA locations that have homelessness programs or unhoused folks. just to kind of get everybody across the board. But then we work with other organizations that are, just kind of trying to bring awareness to any veteran causes. Like I mentioned, the Warriors Walk, Veterans Garage, which helps. They restore military vehicles and bring a purpose back to them. They're fantastic. They're at all of our events, and we call them our sister charity. They call us their sister charity. Like we kind of do everything kind of together. And it's always nice when you bring a Humvee. We had an event where we actually went to one of the house locations. It was around Christmas time, and we actually had Santa in the Humvee picking up through the turret and came to see all the kids that were living there. So it was a great event, but great partners that I have. Obviously our local American Legions and VFWs and all those things. They're a great help. We worked with Wreaths Across America because we have a local cemetery here, and just a lot of community support and a lot of community organizations that we definitely work with, as well as making sure we have, there's local veterans assistance commissions we work with as well. So we want to get to those places where veterans are already going so that it's kind of a one-stop shop.
Michelle, I'm going to be honest with you. I normally have a lot of questions, and I'm just blown away by the fact that I just recently learned about Farm to Veteran, and I'm going to yell y'all's name from the rooftop and try to help you as much as I can as far as donations. So donations are done through the website. How did they follow you on social media? Or any social medias you'd like to plug?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or I think it's called X now. Who knows? LinkedIn. We're on all the major social medias, but it's Farm the number 2 Veteran on all of them. Our website has a lot of information. If there's anything that you can email us, have any questions, we have a phone number there. We're always willing to talk. If there's farmers that want to partner, if there's organizations that want to partner, we can absolutely make a conversation and figure out where we can go from there. We'd like to help as many people as we possibly can, but obviously it takes a lot to make sure that this all happens. And I always want to make sure that we are doing our best for everybody.
That's amazing. Michelle, it's been great talking to you. And I hope that we can have you on again in the future and just learn more about the progress.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.